People no doubt will in the future call you a hero. How do you react to that?
Just take it as it goes. I don't see myself as a hero. I was just saving my mate, doing him a favour. Nothing special, Miles.
In May 2007, the Royal Anglians were on a routine reassurance convoy through the streets of Sangin in Helmand Province. But what was meant to be a peaceful hearts and minds operation was about to turn into a terrifying ordeal. 20-year-old sniper Oliver Ruecker was inside one of the Viking vehicles.
As far as we knew, there was no Taliban in Sangin. They'd been kicked out by the 82nd Airborne a couple of months previously, and since then there had been no reports of Taliban inside. The first place we went to was southern Sangin. It was a forward operating base, Waterloo, which is where we spoke to the Afghan National Army and the British Army platoon embedded in with them. There was no problems with anything. Everything was quite peaceful. And then we set off from there, and literally about 2 minutes after we set off from Waterloo, we got ambushed by the Taliban. The ambush started with 2 RPGs striking my Viking. One of them hit the tracks, which blew the track off, and one of them hit the fuel cans on top of the vehicle, engulfing the entire vehicle in flames.
This is the actual footage of Oliver's vehicle.
I was inside the rear cab of the Viking APC, so I didn't know anything that was going on. All I knew is we'd been ambushed because the vehicle shook and there was flames coming through the top hatch. My initial thought was that we'd hit a mine, but it wasn't until after I could hear all the bullets flying through the open top hatch I realised we'd been ambushed.
Up top on the vehicle in front, 19-year-old sniper Josh Lee had a clear view of the frightening scenario they were now facing.
Pretty much all chaos, all hell broke loose. Like what can happen in 30 seconds did happen in 30 seconds. You know, there's people firing every type of weapon, loads of them, just running around, loads of Taliban everywhere. It was definitely a scary situation. I mean, there was Dushkarans and small arms bouncing off the side of my vehicle. It was a massive, massive ambush.
Trapped inside the burning truck loaded with ammunition, Oliver and his mates were in grave danger of being incinerated. They had to get out, fast.
We weren't going anywhere, and if we stayed in, we'd burn to death or blow up. The whole floor was on fire from the fuel. There was a trace of bullets and RPGs crisscrossing all over the place. I could see them hitting the dirt in front of me and all sorts. The first thing I had to do was find cover, which then I looked across, and there was an alleyway across the street. So the first thing I did was run for the alleyway. As I ran into the alleyway, there also happened to be a Taliban fighter in the alleyway. He was firing his AK-47 into the air, celebrating the fact that they destroyed one of our vehicles. So I drew my pistol and killed him on the spot.
A support truck was now trying to quickly evacuate the soldiers out of the killing zone. But Oliver suddenly realised his best mate, Dean Bailey, was missing.
I turned around to look at my Viking, the one that was on fire, and realised that there's only one other place he could be. He had to be in the back of that Viking still. And as far as I knew, as far as I could think, he'd either been injured or he was stuck. I just knew I had to go back and get him, whether he was alive or dead. I ran back through the ambush, through the flames, into the back of the vehicle, which is where I found Dean laying on the floor, completely covered in his own blood, which turned out to be later. He'd taken a rocket propelled grenade to the back, and he'd been shot in the chest, so he was very, very badly injured. I grabbed hold of what was left of his arm and dragged him back through the ambush and put him into the back of the other Viking, which is where the medical officer was, so he could start treating him. I realised there was no room for me. If I got in there, the treatment for the casualty would have been less than sufficient. So I closed the door on that vehicle and then ran back through the ambush again to get into a different Viking APC.
For his outstanding bravery, Oliver was awarded the Military Cross for risking his own life to save that of his colleague, Dean Bailey.
Without what Ollie Ruecker did that day, I think there's a high probability that Dean Bailey would be dead now.
I mean, obviously I feel extremely proud. I mean, I didn't join the army to win things. I just joined it because I wanted to do the job. But some of us are lucky enough to be recognised for what we've done. You know, I believe that everyone out in Afghanistan should have got a gallantry award for what we've done out there.